Hey guys, it's Sheridan here at the Panhandle-Plains Historical Museum. Today I'm going to teach you the word pointillism and how to create a piece of art using pointillism. Pointillism is a technique where you use tiny little dots next to each other. They don't mix, but tiny little dots next to each other so they create a bigger picture. George Seurat and Paul Signac created this technique in 1886. My favorite painting by George Seurat is A Sunday on La Grande Jatte. So if you can Google that, check that out. That is all pointillism, and it's just tiny little dots next to each other that create the colors that you see and the image that you see. So today we are going to create a pointillism rainbow. So we're going to use Q-tips to create our points or our dots. We also are going to learn Roy G. Biv if you haven't already. So Roy, the R in Roy is red, so we're going to start with red. So you just take your Q-tip and you dip it in your paints. So make sure you have all the color of paints of the rainbow before you start. And then you could always mix colors if you needed to, just to create the other colors that you needed. So I'm going to start with my red, and you don't have to use a ton of paint, so you're just going to use the very end of the Q-tip, and you just create your dots. And you can always go back and get more paint. You don't have to use that one little dip of paint every time for the whole thing. So I'm going to continue on my red, and you kind of want to stay within the line so that you can see the rainbow being created. Sometimes it's hard to stay in the lines with the dots. Alright, so you can use the same Q-tip, just turn it over. Just be careful, don't get super messy. And you're going to use the orange. So the O in Roy is orange. So we have red and orange. And you're just going to dip it and do the same thing. Sometimes it'll take you a little bit to get used to it, the dots, but I would like them as close as possible so you can create the color effect and there's no breaks in the color. So we're done with this Q-tip, just lay it to the side. We're going to get a fresh Q-tip, and now we're on to Y of Roy, which would be yellow. The yellow looks really light going on, but it's really dark when it dries. And as always, if you need help with the paint, make sure you ask your parent or an adult that is present with you. So we're going to use the same Q-tip again, and we're going to go to G of Roy G. Biv. The G stands for green. And we're just going to create the dots. We're still using the dots. Remember, do not rub the Q-tip, just make dots. So pick it up every time and make a dot. Alright, so we're done with this Q-tip, and we're going to move on to the next one. So we have Roy G, so now we're on to Biv. B would be blue. So we're going to use blue. Remember, just create those dots right next to each other and you will create a masterpiece. So now we're going to go on to the I of Biv, which would be indigo. Indigo is kind of a bluish color. It's a blue-purple. So if you don't have it, you can always mix the colors and make a bluish-purple color. Alright, so I'm going to finish up the indigo, and then I'm going to move to the V of Biv, which would be violet. So it's more of a purple. All right, So here is my rainbow. You can always do pointillism on the sun as well. So I would like you to Google George Seurat, A Sunday on La Grande Jatte, and tag us in any photo that you create with your rainbow. We are adding a link to this printable, and you can use it at your house whenever. So I enjoyed teaching y'all guys, and y'all just come to the museum when we're back open, okay? Thank you.